Hey, good morning, and welcome to Oasis Live. I'm really excited about this topic. And it's interesting because I recorded this video a couple of weeks ago, and for whatever reason, it wouldn't play. But this topic is so important that I decided that I was gonna do it again, and I'm gonna just do it live this time. And we're talking today about loneliness as a single parent. You know, it's interesting that we can be in a situation where we're around a whole lot of people, but yet we still feel lonely. So, today we're going to just be talking a little bit about what does that mean? What does that look like? And I know that many of you all as single parents have suffered times when you felt lonely. Um I was a single parent for 10 years. And during that entire 10 years, because of the assignment on my life, I didn't date. I went to social engagements. And sometimes I had a plus one, but it was never anybody that I was dating or anything like that. It was just, a friend that would rise to the occasion and be my plus one. But there's a difference when you're in a relationship, if you know what I mean. And I'm not talking about a sexual relationship or anything like that. I'm just talking about a relationship where you have companionship. Companionship is important to the relationship process because, after all, getting in bed is not the be all end all. If I could just be raw and honest about it. And y'all know I just keep it real, I'm raw and honest. I always tell young women who are looking to get married, they say, "Oh, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married." Why do you want to get married? What's your reasoning for wanting to get married? Oh, and I just really honestly know that a large part of it is because they don't want to be in sin. And so what I say to them is this: you got to get out of the bed sometime. And you got to have somebody that you like, not just love, but you got to have somebody that you like and somebody that you're friends with. The thing that drew me to my husband was the fact that he was a great conversationalist. He, I was so impressed by his intelligence and so impressed by his ability to carry a conversation. But that's not what this live is all about. I wanted to start there because so often women think that if I got a man, I won't be lonely. And that's not always true. I've had friends who were married and had always been married even before they had their children. And because they had not established a companionship or a real relationship, there were often times when they were married and still felt alone and lonely. And I make that distinction because alone is not synonymous with loneliness. I have my best times when I'm alone because I'm an introvert. That's how I get my energy refilled or refueled because I'm an introvert. But that being said, let's talk about some of the ways that you can conquer loneliness. Now, I'm sure some of you all will say, "Oh, I'll just go and hang out with my friends and all of those other things." And yeah, that's nice. But what about when your friends are not available? Some of you all would say, "Oh, I'll just watch a movie." Is that going to solve your loneliness? Maybe, maybe not. But let's just think about some ways and some things. And I've got my notes right here. Got to put on my little peepers so that I can see. One of the things that I would suggest is find some new people to hang out with. You know, a lot of times we have our besties that we hang out with. I love my besties to life. I would spend 24 hours a day with them if I could. If I could. But sometimes we have to hang out with some different people because my besties, they have very different lifestyles than I do. And so I would not always be mentally and emotionally satisfied because our lifestyles are so different. And so, what I would suggest, the first thing that I would suggest is find some new people to spend time with. I tell people all the time, our Single Moms Hub, which is a part of the Oasis, is a great place to hang out. We come together on the first and third Saturdays and we talk about things that are important to us as single moms. Now, again, I'm no longer a single mom and I haven't been for 20 years. However, I'm still very acquainted with what it felt like to be a single mom. I'm still passionate about the work of working with single moms. That's my life's work. That's what I do every day. And so find some new people to hang out with. If you're not fearful, go to my website at oasisempowermentzone.com and click the link that says Single Moms Hub. And you'll get all kinds of information about when we meet, what we talk about, and honestly, it's whatever we want to talk about. Usually when I go live on Wednesday, we kind of carry that conversation over into the weekend, into our live. But not always. Because if one of my ladies come and they have a pressing issue or they have something that they need some feedback on or they have something that they need to talk about, we break protocol and we deal with the needs. So find yourself a group of like minded women. Um, that's the first thing. Pick up a hobby. I know a lot of times women who are single parenting and don't really have a lot of support don't really have a lot of time to do hobby kind of stuff. And so I always suggest think about those things that you liked to do before you became a single parent. I think my live is freezing up a little bit. But think about those things that you like to do before you became a single parent. Find a way to pick those things up again. Find a way to do those things again. I've always liked to read. I infuse my love of reading onto my daughter, and now she loves to read. And so that was one of the things that I always liked to do when I was a single mom, or before I was a single mom. I love to read. So we would go to the library, we would buy books. Honestly, back then it was, I can't remember the name of the bookstore, but there was one on 95th Street. When we didn't go to the library, we would go to the bookstore and we would just hang out at the bookstore. And so those are some of the things that we did. I like to knit and crochet. I have a huge bin of knitting needle, and I like to craft too, as a matter of fact. I have a huge bin of knitting and crocheting supplies, a huge bin of yarn, all kinds of needles. Guess what? I never learned how to do it well, but I still enjoyed doing it. As a matter of fact, when I recently had my grandbaby, I made her two very beautiful blankets. But now I want to learn how to read patterns, how to do all of those other stuff. So, you know what I've done? I've signed up for some crocheting classes. Yes, I did. Yes, indeed. I signed up for some crocheting class. See, some of my Single Moms Hub ladies are on here and they're letting you know that if you've not connected to the Single Moms Hub, you need to do it. Pick up a hobby. I used to like to skate. Again, never got good at it. Couldn't do all the fancy, crazy legs and stuff, but I was able to get around the rink. And so I picked up doing that hobby of skating. Wish I could still do it now, but can't do it now. But pick up a hobby. I can't overemphasize that. You know, sometimes being alone is important, even in the confines of just shutting yourself down. One of the things that I used to have a problem with is my mind was always thinking, and it is to a degree now, always clicking, always thinking. But now I relish those times when I can just shut down and take a nap. It's important to me because I can refuel that way. Being alone doesn't have to be lonely. The other thing that I can encourage you to do is volunteer somewhere. Find something that you love to do and volunteer. If you like working with seniors, one of my dear friends and team members, she said, I love my old people. I like working with my old people. So now she's picked up a part-time job working with the elderly. Then there's pet care. You can always volunteer at a pet shelter or pet store. Whatever your passion is, find a way to get involved in that community and volunteer there. And if nothing else, get a pet. Now, it doesn't have to be a pet that's high maintenance. I've had all kinds of pets. At one point in my life, I had a 55-gallon aquarium with just fish in it. And I'm telling you, it was one of the most relaxing things in the world. My daughter and I would sit in our living room. We would turn off all the lights. I had colored lights inside of the aquarium, and we would just sit and watch the fish. That was relaxing to us. And so then I had a bird. One of my dear friends who's passed on now, we started working for the state together many, many years ago. Um, he bought me a bird, and the bird's name was Ruby Tuesday. And I kept that bird for a number of years. And when that bird died, he found out that the bird died. He bought me another one because he felt that that was the cure to my loneliness. So, guess what? There's all types of ways to avoid loneliness. And I just want to encourage you that you don't have to be miserable because you're a single parent. You can live your best life. When I was a single parent, I made it a priority to make sure that we had that, or that I had, I'll say it like that, at least 2 vacations a year. I always took her on a very, very nice vacation. And honestly, she's seen some of the sites that my older kids haven't seen. She's been to the Grand Canyon. She's been to Vegas. My older children haven't done that yet. She's been to Disneyland in California. My younger kids have been to Disney World, but they haven't experienced Disneyland. So, and it doesn't have to be anything very, very expensive. Do a staycation. The Powell family, now that I'm married with more children, we're famous for staycations. We'll find something downtown that we want to do. We'll find a place to go and visit. Love it, love it, love it. Do a staycation. The important thing is not only spending time with things that you enjoy, but also spending time with your child or children, as well as making sure that you're exposing them to a different culture. Museums are great. The zoo is great. Nature walks are great. Um, Anything that you all can do together that you enjoy doing. And so I just want to jump in here today and just give you some thoughts on how to deal with loneliness, how to not to be alone and not be lonely. And so, again, I want to invite you to be a part of the Single Moms Hub. Go to our website that you see on the screen, www.oasisempowermentzone.com. Click the tab that says Single Moms Hub, fill out the form, and we'll send you all kinds of information about the Single Moms Hub. If you read the comments, you saw that one of our single moms said she loved the Single Moms Hub and the conversations and advice that come from it. I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. Also, if you would like to make a donation to the Single Moms Hub, at this time, the Single Moms Hub, the Single Moms Hub, as well as the Oasis Empowerment Zone, is an unfunded nonprofit organization. We accept all donations. We appreciate all donations. We love all donations that help us to continue the work that we are doing. This is a shameless plug. Yes, it's shameless because, I don't like asking, I don't like begging, but definitely shameless plug. You can Cash App us. You can also call us for additional ways to give. We do have PayPal and we do have Cash App and Zelle. And so until we meet again on the first Wednesday of March, love and blessings to you, and we'll see you then. You brought in Oasis, right in the middle of a day.